welcome to another broadcast of The Curious Mind of Raquel. I am your favorite mermaid mystic and medium. So today's video is going to be a continuation, basically we'll call it a continuation, because I really wanted to tap into the energy of people kept asking me in the comment sections to do an updated version, because remember, let me get to it, Blake Lively and Reynolds. And I suppose the reason that I read in the comment section was someone said that that he did not say something about her birthday, but did for Hugh Jackman and really highlighted him in the Instagram post. And I wanted to touch in on that. Now, I have already confirmation there. I have already done the ultimate outcome. The final outcome will be that they will divorce. And I said that that's going to be down the line. And if you'll go back and look at that video, I predicted many things that have already happened. And so, but I wanted to do an update just for everyone because you asked me several times. And so I feel as though I should do it for you. And I kept getting the same energy, and that was that, yes, they are going to divorce. Now, it's going to be a bit down the road. This feels very intuitively, I feel as though Ryan, this is an indication that what my prediction was prior is that he will begin, because I do feel as though this is marking him in the sense that his character, there is, because I'm hearing breakdown, there is a breakdown in the persona that he has sent forth into the universe and into the acting realm of all his predecessors and comrades. And this is really weighing heavily on him. It's not so much her, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, darling. And I'm not saying this in the way that's me not being unconditional, but his energy feels very much as though he's taking this harder than she is. Now, she really is trying to hold herself together and having strength. And I hate to say this, I really don't like saying this. It feels a bit unpleasant, but in Ryan's energy, he feels very much as though she's humiliating him, and he is trying to pull away from her because this is making him really look bad. And also, he feels as though she's a bit thick. You know what I mean? She's not very smart. And so he's been able to manipulate her continuously, thinking that he's on her side. But now it's coming into like, you're embarrassing me now. This is really starting to wreak havoc on my career. And we're not going to have that. Hell or high water, we're not going to have it. And so this is his way of nonchalant pulling. Now, if you were to ask him or ask her, you know, why didn't he post? He's got the perfect reason. And he will even probably say, you know, well, I did post you, you know, I think there was some photograph, but she wasn't even mentioned. And that was something after the public got wind of it and they started to notice. Now, I think, okay, so because I've channeled personally for celebrities, understand I'm very discretionary. So if a celebrity asks me to never mention the name or, you know, what outlet I've helped or whatever, like I'm very discretionary and I would never do that. But what I'm saying is there are oftentimes you can pick up on these celebrities when you notice these things and people think, oh no, that was just a off thing, or that was just a post, I didn't mean it, or whatever. And especially if they start to correct, like auto-correct it to save face, because they'll pretend, this is the thing with celebrities, and their publicists are very quick to always tell them this, that if you watch for the signs on people's social media, although they say, oh, well, I'm never on social media, that's not true. Majority of celebrities, if they have an Instagram account, because this is they're notorious for this, is that they have so many of the Finsta accounts, okay? And it's because they don't want to reveal. The only time that if you're going to see someone reveal, say they commented on someone's thing or something, it's because it's high value. They think that it's good. It will be good morale for their brand or their personality or their character. Or they've done it by accident. You know, have you ever noticed that there might be a celebrity? Well, they did it on thinking it was a Finsta account, but it wasn't. So sometimes they'll correct those things. But I just want you to understand that, you know, these are just people just like me and you. There's no direct, like, you think, oh, the degrees that they're separated from us is because they're so different than us. They're really not different. In fact, they're so much like us that that's the caveat, is that they want for you to believe that there's all this distance between, you know, this is what a celebrity does and this is what a normal, average, ordinary person does. And we're all the same. We're all doing the same things, but it's just on different scales, and they're better attuned to know how to do it because they've been schooled on it. It's sort of like how Princess Catherine was schooled on how to talk with a British RP accent. You know, once she knew that she was going to become queen. Do you understand? She wasn't so very posh and put together. The celebrities are very much like us. So don't ever think that, you know, oh, they're a celebrity. No, they're no different than us. Absolutely no different. Now, might they have a bigger bank account, but sometimes everything is not always as it seems, my darling. Some people are more broke than you are. They just show it differently. Do you understand? Or they hide it better. So don't ever think that you're not as good as the celebrities, and they're just as quick to want to protect their image as you are, just like you do in your community, in your town, in your family. Everyone wants to put forth their best foot, and that's what we'll all try to do. Now, getting back to it, like I said, Ryan thinks ultimately he really does. He picked Blake for that particular reason, and I'm not trying to be mean, like I said, but he thinks she's a bit thick. She's not very intelligent, and so he's been able to pull the wool over her eyes quite a long time. And I do still, and I know people say, oh, she's a narcissist, but it's because she has believed the hype. Because when a narcissist has a ulterior motive, okay, and they've boosted them up, it's to make themselves look better. Do you understand? They're going to do this in the sense that they're doing it to make themselves look better. Now, when it starts to have an effect on them personally and their sense of being and their character and their reputation, it infringes on their work or whatever, they will begin to devalue you. And I think this is what he's actually doing to Blake, is he's going to begin devaluing her. And I'm sure definitely there's loads of fighting, loads of dissatisfaction, and loads of being bothered. Like, he's just really, it's wreaking havoc on him emotionally and mentally. He might act like it doesn't, but I'm telling you, he's coming unraveled and unthreaded behind the scenes. Now, she's keeping more of a strength. And I will tell you this, it's because she has the children. And I know many people are saying, oh no, she's a narcissist too. Now, that well and could be the truth, okay, my darlings? It could be, but I really feel in her energy, I'm not saying that she hasn't done unkind things. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about from the God source reality of the perception that I have of her, and I'm not giving excuses. Understand this. I don't do it in reference to my particular way that I feel. Raquel, the way that Raquel feels. This is, I'm separating myself. That's what you do when you're a medium. You separate your personal narrative from the actual person that you're channeling, because you're trying to feel their energy. And so when people say, oh, I don't understand why you don't see it this way or that way, that's not to say that Raquel doesn't see it that way. Razzie doesn't see it that way. But when I'm channeling these people, I'm trying to give you how they are viewed from source perspective, okay? And there is no emotions as humans have emotions. I'm just giving you their character and the way that they've been built up and what they're doing in their energy at that moment. Now, it always shifts. It's constantly changing. Energy is constantly changing. And the reason for that is because everyone is learning things at different exponential rates. And so some things are going to really hit you karma wise. It's going to hit a person in a particular way, that depending on how we as people view them, how we whether or not we encourage their behavior, because when we're pushing and resisting against them, it's creating more combustion. Okay, this happens with everything. So if you want things to go away, or you want people to receive their karma for whatever reason, like if you have some kind of vendetta that you want someone to receive their karma, which I think that really, we shouldn't be focused on that. We should be focused on what we have control over, which is our own lives. But we must learn to take our attention away from these celebrities if we don't like what we're seeing. It's sort of like, why would you continually focus on things that hurt your own feelings? It's ridiculous. We've been taught that way since really, really youngsters, and we've got to learn to get away from it. Now, can we use them as examples and take away take away some learning and growth aspects from their particular examples? Absolutely. How you would do something. Maybe you can't identically identify with these particular celebrities, right? You don't have a hair product in movies. Okay, but what can you take from them? You can learn, oh, maybe what is bothering me about what Blake's doing, and what is bothering me about what Ryan is doing. So where is the rub there? And so you start self-analyzing. This is the beautiful aspect of having celebrities, and we can use them as examples to grow our own lives. So you would say, where's the rub? What would it be that bothered me if I was very bothered about her, or bothered about a particular celebrity, or a presidential political person or something? You know, we all have people that just kind of rub us the wrong way and we don't understand it. But this is self-evaluation and internal evaluation, and it can actually help us to understand ourselves better, because that's really what we're doing anyway. We're really always just looking at other people and taking feedback. So then we can self-analyze, look within and go, okay, this bothers me. What bothers me? What's rubbing on my wound when I'm looking at this person and they're doing these particular things? Now, one thing you do have to remember is there is a cloaked version of how you see these people. It has to do with their publicists, their assistants, all of the social media people, all their agents, everything. They themselves, the celebrity, they are going to shield you from things that they really don't want you to know. And I said this in the last video. It's always going to be after the fact. Oh yeah, remember when I was having that really hard time? That was actually true. But they want to talk about it from their scars and not their wounds, which is not a big deal. That's not a problem. It's very helpful to speak from your scars and not your wounds, because when you're wounded, you're still emotionally activated and you're not able to grow and to have closure with things. You have to allow it to scar up, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's better when you can talk about things and you're not still wounded. You're not still in that reactionary state of mind, because it's not very good. Lots of times people will do this and they're enticed, and they may be, on substance or, drinking or whatever. And this is why it's not good to be reactionary. So, but anyway, what I wanted to say was just to reiterate that he is actually in the devaluing stage, I do believe. And I also feel as though I'm feeling very much as though he is really, really, he's leaning heavily on his friend, the Hugh Jackman person. And Ryan has loads of fatherly wounds. He has loads of fatherly wounds. And he's sort of, in a way, and female wounds as well, mothering wounds. But more so, I would say, masculine wounds. And he externalizes those onto the women in his life because he's overcompensating in the area. So whereas instead of looking at how he could use his wife as an example to heal and learn and grow. He's not in that stage right now. I feel him very much, he's in resistant and he's in denial. So he's still in denial about the effect that it's having on him, but he's more so wanting to unleash and he's wanting to disattach from his wife, because he feels as though I've got to like detach from this. And now I do believe that in the last video I did say, which was quite a while ago, wasn't it, like 6 months ago or something, that I do feel as though one of the options, if they were to try and attempt to save their marriage, now this would have to be loads of things that would have to come into play in that situation, but I'm not seeing them as of yet. But I'm seeing that they would maybe try, after everything's said and done and the lawsuits and all of the pending situations are over, that they might try and move country. Now, doesn't he own like some kind of soccer team or something? But anyway, they might consider that. And I said I even thought that Spain might be the thing. They might pull a Amber Heard sort of situation, try and reinvent themselves. But to me, it feels very much as though they have so many friends and so many family and so many connections in California that they might not want to do that. That's the thing. That's where the rub's going to be as well, because it's pride goeth before the fall. Do you understand? That I don't know that they'll necessarily end up doing that in the cards, but I don't think that they're going to do it. I just really don't. I really think they're going to end up divorcing. And I think he's going to divorce her. And I don't know if I said before that she was going to divorce him, but that energy was completely different there. Very, very much different. So, yeah, so they're definitely going to get a divorce, but it might linger out a bit longer, quite a bit longer. They're not going to do it right straight away. Anyway, this is what I have. And as always, I'm most affably yours until my next swim. Cheers, darlings. Toodle pip.